Talking about the guidelines of allergy and allergy immunotherapy for India. We published it in 2009 in Indian Journal of Allergy, Asthma and Immunology. It has been now updated, and in 2017 first volume it is under print, is coming up. The idea of doing guideline was that the allergy differs from country to country, depending upon their temperatures, cold country, hot countries, depending upon the presence of allergens in the vicinity. As we have got too much pollens here in certain countries, not many trees. We have got desert area, we have got coastal area, different than the presence of proteins in different parts, it differs. So therefore, there should be a separate guidelines considering the presence of allergens, the feasibility important, the cost factor on the patients, and then the places where it is to be given, where there is facilities of doing testing and the management. So keeping that in mind, this has been revised, and as we know, this is a type 1 mediated immune reaction for which we give allergen immunotherapy, and once the two antigens of the IgE, they are bridged with antigen, there are certain biochemical changes, and there is a release of mediators. Preformed molecules, preformed granules are already there in the cells, mast cells or basophils, and once the reaction takes place and there is a rise in CMP and the fall in GMP, then it releases the substance mediators out and produces the different reactions which may lead to muscle spasm, increased permeability of cells, increased vascular congestion, or increased mucosal cells. So I put these symptoms to any patients, and you can have the presentations like bronchial asthma, rhinitis, urticaria, GITs, colon, and even pseudo-anginal type of pain, and even migraine can produce. So the skin, we don't, the muscles, we have got the presentation accordingly. You can have swelling, you can have increased cells presence, and then redness and inflammation. And asthma, we have got all sorts of things. So you have got muscle spasm, you have got increased permeability and increased cells, and so bronchoconstriction. This is a slide which I want to show. This is important, you should know it, that this is below is the age group, and then we see the number of the tests. You see the green one is the number of tests done, and the positivity is in the blue. So if you just compare by the age of 8 to 9 years, there is fluctuations, and it goes there, and then afterwards is more or less stabilized. So once you are testing the patient or trying to give allergen immunotherapy to a child, just take care of. If you can wait for 8 to 9 years, it's much better, unless it is very urgent. So what is allergen immunotherapy? As an immunomodulatory method of treatment of IgE-mediated allergic diseases to control the symptoms and decrease the sensitivity towards allergens by giving sequentially increasing dose of allergens to induce a shift of immunological response from TH2 to TH1. TH2 response produces bronchodilation, bronchoconstriction, TH2 reverses it. The term allergen immunotherapy is used most recently to refer to the class of therapies that aim to reduce immune tolerance to allergens. It is the only method to prevent the onset or progression of asthma in patients suffering from allergic rhinitis or rhinoconjunctivitis and other allergic conditions. AIT can be administered via different routes: subcutaneous routes, sublingual routes, oral, nasal, bronchial, and even lymphatics. Recently is coming up in the lymphatics, not yet been standardized, but yes, there is a method. But currently only subcutaneous immunotherapy and sublingual immunotherapy have sufficient evidence and therefore are routinely used. The practice of AIT should be allowed only by those physicians who have obtained specialized training in allergy and immunotherapy, and to be practiced at a place where the facilities for managing anaphylaxis exist. This 2017 update by the Indian College of Allergy, Asthma and Immunology has been prepared to review the recent data and update the guidelines which were previously published by us in 2009. The mechanism of action, there is no now strong evidence that AIT produces a shift of TH2 to TH1. It brings about the reduction of release of inflammatory mediators, specific IgE level, allergen-specific airway hyperresponsiveness apart from producing clinical improvement. Activation of TH1 subset is associated with the development of cell-mediated immunity, essential for protective immune response against the development of allergy, especially in asthma. The expression of FOXP3 on CD4 and CD25 T cells have also been demonstrated to correlate with the suppressive capacity of T regulatory cells and clinical efficacy following allergen immunotherapy. So all those things are showing positive reactions. If you go to these particular figures, there are different cells which has been involved in the allergen immunotherapy, mechanism of action of allergen immunotherapy. Now this is T lymphocytes, B lymphocytes, dendritic cells, monocytes, mast cells and eosinophils. All of them respond to the allergen immunotherapy. Like say both systems, and the local allergic specific proliferation decreases by T lymphocytes, Th2 cytokines decreases, Th1 increases, and T regulatory cells, interleukin 10 and interleukin also increases. Now through the B lymphocytes there is a decreased allergen specific IgE production and increase in the IgG productions, and through the dendritic cells there is production of IL-10 and increase and reduction in IL-12. Through monocytes there is a increased production of IL-10, and mast cells and eosinophils they are decrease in tissues and decrease pro-inflammatory mediators. So the ultimate result is that clinical outcome is increased quality of life, improvement in quality of life, symptom and medication requirement decreases, and skin prick test sensitivity, if you repeat it, also decreases. The important thing is selection of patient who should be given allergen immunotherapy. Ig mediated disease in patients more than 5 years with no limit on upper age. Allergic rhinitis or rhinoconjunctivitis, moderate severe intermittent rhinitis, mild to moderate severe persistent rhinitis, allergic asthma, large local reactions to insect venom, atopic dermatitis in patients with aeroallergen sensitivity. Symptoms are of sufficient duration, allergen avoidance not possible, availability of standardized allergen extracts or best as technically possible are present, proof of efficacy of a planned AIT for the respective indications and age group, which is already there in literature. It is important to have knowledge about the geographical habitat. You know that the patient is staying in which area, which city, and that particular pollen or allergen or tree or insect, so that should be present in that locality. And relevant allergens are induced in Indian allergen manufacturers list that are most commonly throughout the country. Studies focusing on food sensitization in India have also demonstrated the relevance of food allergens in patients with respiratory allergies and should be tested in suspected cases during the SPT, but for confirmation there should be a diet elimination or double-blind placebo control for food allergens. Absolute contraindications: uncontrolled persistent asthma, if in less than 70% in spite of treatment, malignant neoplasm, pregnancy only for initiation. If the patient is pregnant in between the allergen immunotherapy, try to continue it. But if the patient is not started immunotherapy, don't start before the delivery is there. Children less than 2 years of age and patient who has got immunological disturbance like AIDS. Relative contraindications: beta blockers, cardiovascular disease, to control those diseases before. HIV, children 2 to 5 years of age is a relative contraindication. That's why I say please try to shift and go to the age a little higher so that the immune system is more or less stabilized. Psychiatric and mental disorder, chronic infections, autoimmune disorders or immunodeficiencies or use of immunosuppressives means where the immune system itself is being targeted or is having some particular disease. Diagnostic test for detecting sensitizations for allergens, right? For AIT or patients with Ig-mediated respiratory allergic disorders, identification of specific causative allergens is of paramount importance. That is important. Person should be allergic and be established that he has got allergy with that particular allergen. The following in vivo and vitro test has been developed: skin prick test in vivo and mucosal challenge test at certain places who are being done but not generalized. But double-blind placebo control for food challenge is being recommended. In vitro test, the RAST, radiosorbent test, or enzyme-linked immunosorbent test, ELISA, this can be done just to confirm the presence of allergen. Skin tests with inherent allergens are simple and effective method for identification of causative allergens. Skin tests are the most accurate diagnostic procedure for demonstrating that a specific allergen has induced an IgE antibody response and are regarded as the gold standard for detection of IgE antibodies. Skin tests are convenient, simple, biologically relevant because we are exposing the person to the same allergen. Reproducible, easy and rapid to perform, and low cost and high specificity and sensitivity. Skin prick test is being recommended now. As properly performed prick test is the most convenient and for better clinical correlation and is economical. SPT is the best screening method for detecting specific Ig antibodies. They are highly producible when carried out by trained persons. SPT are minimally invasive, have high sensitivity and have a low rate of systemic effects as compared to intradermal test. So therefore intradermal test which was being done before is not being done, rather SPT is being preferred. Certain medications before doing the skin testing should be stopped, and this table is showing that they are all medical antihistaminics, S2 blockers, glucocorticoids, topical or glucocorticoids, and systemic short terms, steroids and long term. All those things, they can suppress the positivity. Before doing skin testing, you should take care of this table for 3 to 7 days. But the important thing is in table is that omalizumab, which has been used in patients, can suppress the sensitivity for 4 to 6 months. What does it mean? It means the patient who is on omalizumab treatment and you do the skin testing, even if he is positive, will not become as positive for 4 to 6 months. So therefore, this gap should be maintained when you are doing the skin testing. Grading is done by, upper one is that grading is done by skin prick test. 0 to 3 millimeter is the negative control. 3 to 5 is 1 plus, 6 to 8 is 2 plus, and 2 plus is usually along with positive control. Positive control we give histamine, because histamine we are producing in the skin. Once we inject the allergens, we produce histamine, and histamine is showing the reactions in the skin. So therefore, any allergen should have actually equivalent reactions to the histamine, so that we can take it as significant. So it is taken as 2 plus or 2 plus, because 2 plus and more we take it as significant as far as the millimeter size is concerned. 9 to 11 millimeters 3 plus, and more than 11 is taken as 4 plus. A grading for intradermal which was done before, now is not being done, but just to tell you, less than 6 millimeters is taken negative control, and twice to that is taken a 1 plus, 3 times to that is as 2 plus, 4 times, and if there presence of 1 or 2 pseudopodias, means the swelling is there, and 1 or 2 pseudopodias, we take as 3 plus, and more than 4 times, and more than 2 pseudopodias. Now, measurement and the reporting of the skin wheel diameter is preferred. Previously, it was a controversy. There are some people who were saying indurations, and some were saying about the flaring or the redness of this thing. But now it's accepted that okay, the wheel diameter is preferred. We take the diameters longitudinally and vertically, add it and divide by 2, so that we can know how much is the reaction. In vitro testing, Indian studies have concluded that the Ig levels in Indian allergic patients is significantly related to atopy, but to wide overlaps of Ig levels in patients and healthy subjects, the diagnostic significance in Indian population seems to be limited. I am talking about total Ig. Therefore, total Ig has limited role in the diagnosis of allergic disorders. AIT should not be given only on the basis of serological test, any type of serological test. In vitro test may be used only as a supportive test, or in situation in which skin testing is not possible, just to correlate. Again, we have to correlate with history and the presence and other things, so that we can say, okay, he is allergic. Type of specific immunotherapy is given as a parenteral type of subpotency immunotherapy, pre-seasonal, co-seasonal, perennial. It means that pre-seasonal means when there is a fixed season for that patient, then you start before the season, about 15 days before the season. Co-seasonal along with the season. Perennial is throughout the year, irrespective of the effective season. And oral, which was tried before, but the dosing was not one of the factors, because after taking the antigens orally, there was no guarantee that all of them will be absorbed and how much it will be absorbed. Therefore, dosing was the problem. Sublingual immunotherapy is being tried now, and there antigen is given sublingual, because sublingual is a fast absorption, and therefore this is being done and is being developed and found to be safer than the is quite safe, and can be given up to the after 2 years of age in the children also. Methods of this thing is rush immunotherapy is doing very fast, about 3 injections in a day. Stepwise procedure, which I will be discussing, which has been preferred. Cluster immunotherapy, take all the antigens. Again, it's a faster method of development, which can be done only under the supervision of this thing, but chances supervision of our physicians, and chances of anaphylaxis reactions are higher. So subcutaneous immunotherapy and sublingual immunotherapy, the two are being now used. Subcutaneous immunotherapy, SCIT, has been the commonly used method of administration of AIT. In India, native extracts available as aqueous preparations as used for subcutaneous immunotherapy. For sublingual immunotherapy, in contrast of SCIT, SLIT requires a much higher amount of antigen to achieve clinical efficacy. SLIT is currently not approved in India but is under consideration by the drug regulatory authorities. SLIT has also been clinically effective only for a limited number of allergens. The important thing is SLIT antigen is not available for all allergens, it's only limited one. House's mite is found to be effective. Probably it will be recommended for giving allergen immunotherapy, but again the dosing is still a big query. Now this is chart which showing that after immunotherapy what are the laboratory evidences. The basophil sensitivity to allergens, the sensitizing IgE antibody level, lymphocyte response to allergen and IgE antibodies. If you see that all of them goes down with time except IgE. IgE there is an initial rise and then there is a fall. So the most important thing in this slide is that explain to the patient that if you are starting AIT, then initially you may have worsening of 5 to 10%, you may require a little more medications for 3 months, and then afterwards you'll get a response. So therefore, patient should not panic. He should know it and tell them that is the positive response. It means that whatever we are doing, the reaction is taking place. The lower part of the table is showing two phases. One is initiation phase, second is maintenance phase. Initiation phase means when you are increasing the dose of the antigens. We will show in the next slide. And maintenance phase, once we reach the maintenance, then every time he takes every month the same maintenance dose. So there are two phases which are important. I will come to that later. Summary of the efficacy data for allergen immunotherapy from Cochrane review. If you see that the allergen rhinitis is more towards the SCIT, is definitely much better than SLIT. Allergic asthma also it's slightly better than the SLIT. Mechanism of action, everything is same. On the route of administration is different. Other point is duration of allergen immunotherapy. AIT is generally administered for 3 to 5 years. The duration, decision of the discontinuation of immunotherapy must be individualized. There are two things important, especially for India. We asked the patient that, okay, 3 to 5 years to stop because that was the international criteria. But the patient, we explained to the patient, okay, you're all right. If he's all right, he say, oh, okay, I'm totally all right. So if you want to stop, there are two things. Either you will be all right throughout, or you may have recurrences after 10 years, 5 years, or 8 years, something, then we'll start it again. And then we'll leave it to the patients. Most of the patients are saying, okay, once a month injection hardly makes a difference, we will continue. So there are patients who are taking for about 15, 20 years. Some patients may require longer period of treatment, again individualized. Clinical benefit which are ongoing have been documented 12 years after discontinuation of immunotherapy. Up to 12 years, no medication required, then there is recurrence. The clinical benefits may depend on the nature, potency of the allergen extracts. Assessing the response, how can you assess the response? The assessment of response of AIT is made clinically by documenting symptom score, medication score, or combined symptom medication score, and assessment of quality of life of the patient. Venom immunotherapy. In all controlled trials with Vespid, honeybee, or antivenom and venom allergy, comparing venom with either whole body extract or the placebo, a highly significant difference was observed in favor of venom immunotherapy. Venom immunotherapy is effective in 95% of patients allergic to wasp venom and about 80% of those allergic to bee venom. The safety of venom immunotherapy is related to the nature of the venom used and the protocol. More side effects were observed during immunotherapy with honeybee venom than Vespid venom, so you should be cautious. AIT studies in India, a limited number of studies are available on allergen immunotherapy from our country. Studies conducted in India have shown substantial evidence in favor of AIT. They have been conducted on the following allergens, about house's mite, pollen, insects, mosquito, cockroach, etc. Multiple allergen immunotherapy, say more than 100 allergens, animal denders. AIT studies in India. An Indian study has also evaluated the immunological changes that follow SCIT in patients suffering from bronchial allergy and allergic rhinitis. The inflammatory markers IL-5 and 6 levels at 0, 3 and 6 months were compared, and it was noted that with an increase in duration of treatment, the level of these markers decreased significantly. A retrospective analysis of a prospective symptom review in patients receiving AIT laid emphasis on the nature of allergens and their combination used for immunotherapy, as incorrect combinations were associated with no benefits. A double-blind placebo-controlled study evaluated the efficacy of single insect extract cockroach, housefly and mosquito and mix of these two or more of the same group with placebo demonstrated significant improvements in clinical and various immunological parameters. A double-blind placebo-controlled trial of cockroach AIT performed for 1 year in 50 patients of asthma rhinitis or both demonstrated significant improvement in clinical and immunological parameters of active group patients compared with baseline values. Prospective and retrospective studies of AIT in pregnancy have concluded that continuation of immunotherapy for allergic disease is safe in pregnancy. However, more studies are required involving long-term clinical trials from the country and especially for the more than one antigens, mixed allergens. Anaphylaxis and management. That's one of the things people are worried about giving allergen immunotherapy because of the fear of anaphylaxis. Anaphylactic reactions is clinically manifested by respiratory distress, laryngeal edema, and or intense bronchospasm, often followed by vascular collapse or by shock without antecedent respiratory difficulty. Cutaneous manifestations exemplified by pruritus and urticaria with or without angioedema are characteristics of such systemic anaphylactic reactions. Gastrointestinal manifestations including nausea, vomiting, crampy abdominal pains and diarrhea. WHO grading system should be utilized for identifying systemic reactions and grade them accordingly, which is epinephrine Adaline is the drug of choice, and that should be kept in the clinic while doing skin testing, and patient, if he is taking injections from outside, at that place that should be available. In India, most of the studies have been on allergen mix. Allergen mix, again, I am saying more than one allergen in one vial. However, globally, most of the studies of SCIT efficacy use single allergen. The studies abroad, they are using single because they are not using multiple allergens. A prevalence of polysensitization, as means positive to more than one, has been documented to increase with age, and majority of patients consulting an allergic are polysensitized in India. We have got mostly the patients who have got positive to more than one allergens. And special consideration is skin test and AIT during pregnancy. That's again important. Do not perform skin testing in a pregnant lady. Do not start immunotherapy in a pregnant lady. Skin testing and immunotherapy is to be avoided up to 6 months after delivery or earlier if lactation is discontinued before. So during lactation also should not be started. Do not discontinue, that's again very important, do not discontinue immunotherapy if AIT was started much before pregnancy and the patient is receiving benefit. Otherwise, he will have problems during pregnancy. Special consideration in children. It is recommended to start immunotherapy at an early age in allergic children to modify the natural course of disease and progression of, say, about allergy march. AIT limit for AIT, which has been recommended now, is that less than 2 years absolute contraindications, 2 to 5 years relative contraindication, and more than 5 years AIT can be given. Other important thing is about the allergen, the potency of the allergen and the quality control for allergen extracts. There has been significant progression in allergic restoration in recent years, and a large number of standardized allergen extracts are marketed in US and European countries. It's recommended that allergen manufacturers should supply vaccine tested for consistency related to an in-house references standard. The coordination effects of experts from Indian College of Allergy, Asthma and Applied Immunology, the antigen units and drug regulatory authorities are required to upgrade the quality control of allergen extracts following standard WHO, IUIS or EMA criteria or protocols. Standard prescription protocol for perennial subcutaneous immunotherapy. Allergens to be mixed in AIT should be done with precaution, as certain allergens have proteolytic enzymes and thus reduce the potency of other allergens. Hence, it is recommended not to mix house's mite or fungal or certain insect allergens with any other allergens and prescribe them in separate vials. AIT is started usually with 1:5,000 weight by volume dilutions, and the injections are given 2 times a week to begin with, starting point from 0.1 ml and increasing in every injections by 0.1 ml. In case showing high skin sensitivity to eye or IIT with single antigen showing local or systemic reactions of initiation of immunotherapy, higher dilution, say 1 is to 50,000, can be selected to build up the patient. Usually the maintenance dose is between 0.5 ml to 1 ml or 1 is to 50 dilution, which is given once a month. And this is what is the criteria which we usually use. Start 1 is to 5,000, 2 injections in a week, right, starting from 0.1 to 0.9. 1 is to 500, 2 injections in a week, again 0.1 to 0.9. 1 is to 50, 1 injection a week, 0.1 to 0.5. Now here, because the maintenance dose is a higher concentration, 1 is to 50, so we go very slowly. The maintenance dose will also be somewhere between 0.6 to 1 ml. So the whole vial is given 0.6 once in 2 weeks, then whole vial, next vial is given 0.7 ml once in 3 weeks, and then 0.8 ml once in 4 weeks. So, and then increase the 0.9 and 1, whatever. And then the patient who has got some problem with the reactions, then probably go back to the last dose, and that probably will be maintenance dose. A standard prescription protocol for perennial subcutaneous immunotherapy, if there is no response less than 30% in 1 year's time, you can discontinue immunotherapy. And the reason for discontinuation of immunotherapy or the failure of immunotherapy can be failure to remove the causative allergen, which is like say animal dander, very important, exposure to high level of allergen at that time, continued exposure to non-allergic triggers like tobacco smoke, incomplete identification and treatment of clinical relevant allergens, and failure to treat with adequate dose of each allergen. So if none of the above reasons are found, discontinuation of immunotherapy should be considered and other treatment options should be pursued. Otherwise, we take care of other factors and then try to see whether it's because of other factors or it is because of a failure of allergen immunotherapy. Coming to a few words about future of immunotherapies, that in vivo standardized allergen extracts, which I was talking about, usually aqueous, recombinant allergens, and then certain provocation tests which are coming up in vivo, in vitro, molecular allergy, component resolved diagnosis, and basophil activation tests. These are certain tests which are coming up in the is a research tool at present for diagnosis of allergy, where standard allergen extract testing is presently which is being done. Future immunotherapies, newer routes about intralymphatic, which has been tried recently, and epicutaneous means subcutaneous, which are trying, or sublingual also. New formulations, the nanopeptides, addition of adjuvants, peptide-based immunotherapy or recombinant allergens is at the research level. New indications of food allergy, that's again a controversy. Cow's milk and peanuts and egg, etc., if they are confirmed, that probably it is being recommended. Position statement. AIT should be practiced only by allergy-trained physicians, pediatricians, ENT surgeons, pulmonologists, dermatologists, and in a clinical setting where instruments and medications for management of anaphylaxis are available. The treatment of allergic disease is based on patient education, allergy avoidance, and pharmacotherapy, and also AIT. Prick test is the gold standard for detection of allergen sensitization. The treating physician should be aware of local and regional allergens prevailing in the patient's environment so that he can correlate and find out that actually the patient is exposed to that allergen or not. SCIT or even sublingual immunotherapy both have clinical efficacy proven in trials. However, SLIT is currently not approved in India and it's under consideration. AIT is used in combination with pharmacotherapy to control the symptoms, which would decrease with the increasing efficacy of AIT. AIT should be started at an early age as it has a potential to modify the natural course of allergic disease, means you start the allergen immunotherapy in rhinitis patient who doesn't have asthma, can prevent going from rhinitis to asthma. AIT can be continued in pregnancy but is usually not initiated to a pregnant woman. Response to A3 starts slowly, however clinical and physiological improvements have been demonstrated very shortly and the patient reaches the maintenance dose. This should be explained to the patient that it will be start, as I said in my last slide, that initially there will be some worsening but slow progression, it takes some time but persists for a longer time. Venom immunotherapy can be discontinued after 3 to 5 years in most of the patients. However, decision to discontinue venom immunotherapy should be taken on the response of the patient and should be individualized. AIT is cost effective based on clinical response with reduction in medication requirement and also persistence of benefit even up to 12 years after discontinuation of immunotherapy. Skin testing as well as AIT may rarely give severe systemic reactions and anaphylaxis, very rarely. Therefore, skin testing and immunotherapy should be administered under the supervision of a trained physicians who can have recognize these symptoms and of anaphylaxis and other side effects and administer requisite treatment in emergency unit. Adaline is the drug of choice and pre-filled syringes should be there at the time of doing SPT or giving first injections of immunotherapy. Now, I will show a little bit of flow chart in short about what I discussed. Symptoms suggestive of allergic rhinitis, conjunctivitis and or allergic asthma or any other allergy disorders. Patient history and clinical examination which should be in very much detail, that should be taken care of. And suppose you suspect allergy, initiate pharmacotherapy as per the symptoms and the requirement of different guidelines of the disease. Allergic diagnosis, we do the SPT. Now SPT if is coming negative, okay, then probably we go into the a positive patient history, maybe something else, and a specific IG estimation. If a specific IG estimation is negative, is not allergic, it means something other disease, and try to find out other conditions like obstetrical lung disease and others. But if it is positive, then it's a doubtful patient. Probably we have not tested to the proper allergen, so again it has go to the same place, and then correlation with the patient history and clinical symptoms is done as it is done in the positive SPT patients. If there is a positive correlation, avoidance of allergen is possible, then you please do it. If it is a good response by avoidance, nothing is response, the patients referred for this thing. But if there is avoidance of allergen is 100% possible, okay, no. If it is no, then you can, it's a good response, you can initiate immunotherapy. Suppose he is not able to avoid, it's completely incomplete response, then again allergen immunotherapy. But if the avoidance of allergen is not possible, again we go for the allergen immunotherapy. A patient's correlation of the history, if there is no correlation with that history of the allergen positivity or the symptoms, then sensitizations without clinical relevance, further diagnostic work is required to find out some other diseases. So a patient who has got avoidance and giving good response and continue avoidance in those patients, but there are some patients shown in this table also, they want immunotherapy. No, we will avoid, that is different. But again also, if there is a preference for allergen immunotherapy in those patients, then you can give allergen immunotherapy. This is how a flow chart we can go ahead and we can do the allergen immunotherapy in the patients. With this, I thank you very much.